When was the last time you checked your investment account, saw those numbers staring back at you, and wondered if they would ever actually mean something? I'm not talking about reaching retirement at 65 with just enough to scrape by. I'm talking about real wealth. Financial freedom that arrives while you're still young enough to enjoy it. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 3 precise dollar milestones that transform compounding from a slow crawl into an unstoppable force. And when you hear about the third milestone, you'll realize why most people retire broke, while a small percentage escape the rat race decades early. Picture this. You're in your late 30s or early 40s. Your friends are still grinding at jobs they tolerate, checking their retirement accounts once a year and hoping things will work out somehow. Meanwhile, you're watching your investments generate more in a single month than many people save in an entire year. Not because you got lucky, not because you inherited money, but because you understood something most people miss entirely. Compounding has gears, and each gear unlocks at a specific dollar amount. Cross those thresholds and everything accelerates. Here's what nobody tells you. Small amounts of money compound slowly. Very slowly. You can save $200 a month for 10 years and end up with maybe $30,000. Respectable, but not life-changing. The mathematical reality is brutal. Without reaching critical mass, compounding stays polite instead of powerful. But hit the first milestone and suddenly your money starts earning what you used to earn from an entire paycheck. Hit the second milestone, and your investments begin outpacing your salary. Hit the third, and you've essentially automated wealth creation while the rest of the world trades time for dollars. So let's break down these 3 milestones. What they are, what they unlock, and how you reach them faster than you think possible. Number 1 is $10,000, your compounding ignition point. This is where most people quit. They save a few $1,000s, see it growing by maybe $50 or $100 a month, and think compounding's overrated. They're not wrong to feel frustrated. At this stage, the math is genuinely underwhelming. If you have $5,000 earning 8% annually, you're making about $400 a year. That's $33 a month. Barely enough for a few coffees. But $10,000 changes the equation. Here's why this number matters. First, it proves discipline. Getting to 5 figures means you resisted impulse purchases, stuck to a plan, and delayed gratification long enough to build something real. That behavior is the foundation for everything that comes next. Second, $10,000 earning 8% generates $800 a year. That's $67 a month. Still not retirement money, but now you're starting to see your money work without your direct effort. More importantly, $10,000 creates psychological momentum. When you watch that account grow from $10,000 to $11,000 in a year without lifting a finger, something clicks in your brain. You realize this isn't theory, it's mechanical. And if you keep feeding it, the machine gets stronger. Here's the part most people miss. The journey from $0 to $10,000 is the hardest stretch. Every dollar feels like a sacrifice. Every purchase you skip feels like punishment. But once you cross that line, the next $10,000 comes faster because you're not starting from scratch. You've got momentum, you've got proof, and you've trained yourself to prioritize assets over appearances. Think about someone earning $50,000 a year who manages to save $500 a month. That's aggressive, but doable. If they invest that $500 at 8% returns, they hit $10,000 in about 18 months. Less than 2 years to unlock the first gear. After that, their $500 monthly contribution starts stacking on top of growing returns. By year 3, they're not just saving $6,000 a year, they're earning returns on returns. The snowball is rolling. Now, the wealthy don't wait 18 months. They understand that time is the most valuable asset in compounding. So they do something most people avoid. They inject lump sums, a tax refund, a bonus, selling something they don't need, picking up a side project for 3 months. Anything to reach that first milestone faster. Because every month you spend under $10,000 is a month where compounding is still warming up instead of working. Here's a simple truth that separates those who build wealth from those who stay stuck. The person who reaches $10,000 in 12 months by hustling and cutting expenses will outpace the person who takes 3 years to get there by $100 monthly deposits. Why? Because once that first $10,000 is working, every additional dollar compounds on a bigger base. Speed matters early. Intensity beats patience when you're building the foundation. So if you're sitting under $10,000 right now, Your only job is to cross that line as fast as possible. Cut one unnecessary expense. Sell something collecting dust. Take on one small project. Do whatever it takes to hit 5 figures, because that's where the game actually starts. Number 2 is $100,000, the point where your money begins outworking most people. This is the milestone that changes everything. At $100,000, your investments are no longer a side project. They're a second income stream. And if you structure it correctly, that stream grows larger than most people's primary income. Let's break down the math. $100,000 invested at 8% annually generates $8,000 a year. That's $667 a month. For context, millions of people work full-time jobs that pay less than that after taxes. Your money is now producing more than an entry-level salary without you clocking in, commuting, or answering to a boss. But here's where it gets wild. At this stage, your contributions start feeling less important than your returns. If you're adding $1,000 a month to your investments, that's $12,000 a year. But your $100,000 is also earning $8,000. So even if you stopped contributing entirely, your account would still grow by nearly $700 a month. That's the shift. You've moved from building wealth to watching wealth build itself. This milestone also unlocks a psychological advantage most people never experience. Financial confidence. When you know you have 6 figures working in the background, daily expenses feel lighter. A surprise car repair doesn't trigger panic. A temporary income dip doesn't destroy your plans. You've built a cushion that absorbs shocks and buys you options. Now, the path from $10,000 to $100,000 is faster than most people expect if they stay aggressive. Let's say you hit $10,000 and keep contributing $1,000 a month at 8% returns. You'll cross $100,000 in about 6.5 years. That's not 30 years. That's not even a decade. That's the length of time between graduating college and hitting your early 30s, or between starting a new job and becoming a manager. But again, the wealthy compress this timeline. They don't just contribute monthly. They throw windfalls at the goal. A bonus, an inheritance, profit from a side business. Anything that accelerates the journey, because the sooner you hit $100,000, the sooner your money starts doing the heavy lifting. Here's a truth that will either motivate you or frustrate you. The average person takes 15 to 20 years to reach $100,000 in retirement savings. The disciplined person does it in 7 years, and the aggressive person does it in 4. Same world, same opportunities, different intensity. Let's compare 2 people. Person A saves $500 a month starting at age 25. By age 32, they have about $55,000. Solid progress. Person B saves $500 a month, but also adds $5,000 every year from side projects and bonuses. By age 29, they've crossed $100,000, 4 years ahead. And that 4-year gap compounds for the rest of their lives. By age 50, Person A has around $650,000. Person B has over $1.2 million. Same monthly contributions. Wildly different outcomes. The lesson: reaching $100,000 isn't about waiting patiently. It's about attacking the goal with everything you've got. Because once you're on the other side, the game is fundamentally different. Your money becomes a machine that works faster than you do. So if you're anywhere between $10,000 and $100,000 right now, this is your sprint, not your marathon. This is where you say no to the vacation, no to the car upgrade, no to the fancy dinners. You lock in, you hustle. You stack every dollar you can into that account, because crossing 6 figures is the moment compounding stops being a concept and becomes your reality. Number 3 is $500,000. Financial escape velocity. This is the number most people never reach. Not because it's impossible, but because they quit before they get there. They hit $100,000 or $200,000, feel comfortable, and ease off the gas. They don't realize that $500,000 is the point where financial freedom becomes mathematically inevitable. Here's why this milestone is so powerful. At $500,000 invested at 8%, you're generating $40,000 a year. That's $3,333 a month in passive income. For many people, that's enough to cover all basic living expenses: rent or mortgage, utilities, food, transportation, insurance, everything. Without touching the principal, without working a traditional job, Just returns from money you've accumulated and protected over the years. But the magic doesn't stop there, because if you reinvest those returns instead of spending them, your account grows by $40,000 a year on its own. Add another $1,000 a month in contributions, and you're stacking $52,000 a year onto your pile. At that pace, you cross $1 million in about 7 years. Not 30, not 20. 7. This is what the wealthy understand that everyone else misses. Once you hit $500,000, time becomes your employee. Your money compounds faster than most people can save. Your returns outpace your expenses, and your financial trajectory separates from the herd permanently. Let's talk about the journey from $100,000 to $500,000. If you're contributing $2,000 a month at 8% returns, you'll get there in about 9 years. Add occasional bonuses or lump sums and you shave that down to 7 or 8. That means someone who hits $100,000 at age 35 can reach $500,000 by their mid-40s. Still decades away from traditional retirement age, but already sitting on a portfolio that generates enough income to live on. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people never make it to $500,000 because they don't protect what they've built. They hit $200,000 or $300,000, and then they buy the bigger house, lease the luxury car, take the expensive vacations. They treat their growing account like a scoreboard instead of a foundation. And every time they pull money out or stop contributing, they reset the clock. The disciplined few who reach $500,000 do something different. They keep living below their means even as their income grows. They automate their investments so contributions happen before temptation arrives. And they treat their portfolio like a sacred garden that must be protected and fed no matter what happens in the outside world. Let me paint a picture of what $500,000 really means. Imagine waking up knowing that even if you never worked another day, your investments would generate enough income to cover your essentials. You could take a year off to travel, start a business without financial pressure, move to a lower cost area and live comfortably, walk away from a toxic job without fear. That's not retirement, that's freedom. And it's available to anyone willing to sacrifice comfort in their 20s and 30s to build security in their 40s and beyond. Here's the part that shocks people. The journey from $0 to $500,000 doesn't take a lifetime if you're intentional. Someone who starts at age 25, invests $1,500 a month, and earns 8% annually will cross $500,000 by age 42. That's 17 years. Less time than it takes to pay off a typical mortgage. And the returns from that $500,000 will eclipse the salary most people earn in their peak earning years. But most people don't start at 25. They wait until 35 or 40. And then they panic because they realize they're running out of time. If that's you, here's the truth. It's not too late. But you can't afford to be casual anymore. You need to maximize contributions, cut ruthless expenses, increase income aggressively, and stay relentless until you cross the line. Because once you hit $500,000, you've essentially won the game. Everything after that is just choosing how you want to live. Work because you enjoy it, not because you need it. Spend on experiences that matter. Give generously. Build legacy wealth for your family. You've reached the point where compounding runs so powerfully that poverty is no longer a risk and financial stress becomes a distant memory. Now let's bring this together. These 3 milestones, $10,000, $100,000, and $500,000, aren't arbitrary numbers. They're thresholds where compounding shifts gears. The first proves you can build discipline. The second proves your money can outwork most people. The third proves you've reached escape velocity. Most people spend their entire lives stuck before the first milestone. They save a little, spend a little, and wonder why wealth never arrives. A smaller group crosses $10,000 but stalls out before $100,000 because they lack the intensity to push through. And a tiny percentage, the ones who understand the game, sprint toward $500,000 knowing that's where freedom lives. Here's what to do right now. First, figure out which milestone you're chasing. If you're under $10,000, your only job is to hit 5 figures as fast as possible. Cut expenses, sell things, take on extra work. Do whatever it takes. If you're between $10,000 and $100,000, treat this as your sprint phase. No distractions, no upgrades, just relentless contributions and reinvested returns. And if you're anywhere near $100,000, lock your eyes on $500,000 and don't slow down until you get there. Second, automate everything. Set up automatic transfers so your money moves from your paycheck to your investment account before you can touch it. Reinvest all dividends and capital gains. Eliminate the friction that lets emotions interfere with progress. Third, protect your focus. Stop comparing yourself to people who look rich but have nothing saved. Stop buying things to impress strangers, and stop waiting for perfect conditions. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. The people who reach financial freedom aren't smarter than you. They're not luckier. They just understood these milestones and refused to quit before crossing them. And now that you know the map, the only question left is whether you'll actually use it. And if you've made it this far in the video, it means you're serious about building wealth. So here's what I want you to do. Subscribe to this channel for more strategies that actually work. And let me know in the comments which milestone you're chasing right now. Are you sprinting toward $10,000? Grinding toward $100,000? Or closing in on $500,000? I read every comment, and I'll see you in the next one.